Ebby here. Welcome back to my channel. I thought I would set up this notebook here with you guys, just kind of show you how I'm going to use a lot of the items that I had in my recent video that was posted, my haul video, where I bought a couple Happy Planner items as well as like a sketchbook, just some plain notebook paper, and then I've got like my my punch and everything here. But I just wanted to kind of show you how I was going to set this little notebook here as just a kind of like a to-do list notebook with just I can just simply jot down quickly things that need to get done. I honestly have not been using my actual planner at all for probably a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's just a whole nother story. But I wanted to use these. Oh, I didn't realize it was all polka dotted. I thought it was solid black. Okay. Well, anyway, so I'm going to be, because I was going to flip it over, I thought it was solid black on one side, but anyway. So I'm going to get this set up. I'm going to be using just some plain sketchbook paper. I really like the quality of sketchbook paper. It's, I want to say it's probably like 85 pound weight, maybe, probably 90 pound weight. Not quite cardstock, but great to like write with like gel pens. When you're writing on there, it's like pretty smooth. So I'm going to tear out a couple of these sheets and just show you how I'm going to use this as just a regular notebook. Okay, so I have all of my papers torn out of the notebook, so I'm going to put this away and set that aside. So I've got my papers here. I probably took out about maybe 10 pages. So just to get started, I might tear out a couple more if I need them. But I'm going to take a page from an older planner. So I'm going to be using one of these sheets. You might recognize this. This is from one of the Happy Planner undated calendars, the mini calendars. But these fit perfectly in this planner here, like that. So, but the measurement of this paper, and I wrote this down, let me see, it's the Happy Planner calendar page, and the measurements of the calendar page are 7 inches by 4 and 10/16. So I'm just going to use this page as a template. You can, to make it a little bit sturdier, you can just trace this page onto like a sturdy cardstock, and then cut this out and trace this actual and use this as a template instead of just tracing around this paper. After a while of tracing, this might become warped and your lines might get crooked and everything. But I'm just going to start off with this and see how it works. And I'm just going to trace with the pencil kind of lightly around the edges. I don't know, can you see those? And you can kind of see the edges. So I'm able to get two sheets on one page, like so, and then this other portion I can just use for something else. So I'm going to skip a couple pages. I'll kind of double back maybe 3, and then I'll trace again, and so forth. And I'm finishing up the last trace on the paper stack. So I've got, you know, 1 little stack here,
2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
All right, so I have all of my papers are all traced out. I just did them, I did one and then I doubled it with a second page and so on, like, you know, so I can just easily cut them out. But you can cut these out by hand, just regular scissors, like so. Just follow your trace lines and then you'll end up with like double sheets in the back. But I'm just going to use my big guillotine paper cutter, so I'm going to get that out right now. All right, so I'm going to use my big paper cutter here. So this is that like guillotine style paper cutter. This works really well if you are a hardcore like crafter and you're cutting a lot of things out. I am not a hardcore crafter. I used to be a couponer, which is why I have this big guillotine style paper cutter. I would use it to cut all of my coupons from the Sunday paper and whatnot, so that's why I have it. But anyway, so I'm just going to cut on the lines here, and so using this style cutter will make the process go a little bit faster than just hand cutting with scissors, like that. And here's the paper that I just trimmed out. Let's check the size against the Happy Planner page and see if that's pretty good. So that will work out just fine for my planner. So I'm going to get the rest of these cut out. All right, and I'm cutting the last of the paper, like so. Put this back on lock. And I am done. All right, so I have all of my papers ready for my planner. So I'm gonna set that's there. Got all my scraps. Just just put these in my little scrap box over here. And then I have some extras that are a little bit slimmer, and I can use those for something else. So I'll just set those on the side as well. So I have my planner sheets here. They all fit perfectly with the notebook there. I've got my notebook. I've got my rings. I'm actually using some Levenger disc rings that you can find at Staples. I've had these a couple of years, actually, when the whole ARC disc systems came out, like the Stewart line of planners. So that's what these are. As you can see, there's no heart in the middle, but they're about the same size as the Happy Planner rings. So you can see, like right there, it's a solid disc. And this is the part that I struggle with, trying to put all of these on here. So this might take me a good minute to get them sort of, I don't know the best way to get those on there without kind of bending the plastic a little bit. But I'm going to get these on here, and I think I need like 7 of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need 7. 2, 4. Okay, so I'm going to pop these on like so, just to get this kind of started. So these are going to work out just fine. So I've got my rings on there, I've got my covers, put this to the side, I don't need that anymore. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch the holes using my punch. If you have the disc bound system planner, you definitely have to have a punch in your crafting bag. So I bought this one at the craft store. I just used a coupon. I just keep everything together and I store it in the box, and then I store this whole thing in the drawer. But make sure you keep this little plastic piece, otherwise it's just going to pop up and it's harder to store when it's not as flat. So you just kind of squeeze it back like that and then put the plastic back on it, and then it goes back into the box pretty easily. So I'm going to get my papers all punched, and I'm going to size this up just so that I know that I'm punching correctly. Just take a couple of sheets here and kind of match the punch holes on here. Just put like little marks just so I can see when I go to punch. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Just when I go to punch and line these up in my planner, I'll kind of know, or when I line them up into the punch, I'll know where to punch exactly. So here's sort of, let me take this off. I usually punch it without it, just to kind of line up. So here's how it looks. It's sort of like that mushroom punch. It's not your typical hole punch. So this is why it's like a must-have. If you have this sort of planner, you need to have this kind of a punch. And there's other brands that have this sort of punch that will work just the same. So I've got a couple sheets here. I'm going to do like 3. This is kind of thick paper, so I'm going to just do 3 just to kind of be safe, because when you get this thing jammed, it's hard to get it unjammed like that. So I'm going to line this up to where I can see, just to kind of know where I need to set my paper. I know you can't see it, but I can see like the pencil marks that I made on the back side. Okay, so I just wanted to show you up close, like where I drew the pencil dot. You can kind of see the little circle at the base of the mushroom. It's like kind of even with the curve of the mushroom. So if I move my paper, or see how the dots are moving back and forth, and I line them up with the mushroom cap. That's where I know everything is kind of even, and then I punch it. So I punch a little backwards. I will turn it upside down and punch so I can see that polka dot that I drew, and then I just punch it like so. And then it gives me sort of kind of like an exact lineup with what the template has. Like that. So that's why I have it punched. That's why I punch it that way. I know it's kind of weird and backwards, but that's just how I use the punch. Sometimes when I try to line it up with the markings here on the punch, it's got the markings. Sometimes it's offset a little bit. So especially when you're punching the smaller sheets, the punches can be off a little bit. And then I'm going to punch this. I will punch it backwards, I know, but that's kind of thick, so I need to do like 2 pages. And there's my hole punch. And let's line this up to see if it kind of, at least somewhat semi-matches. And it does. There it goes. So you can see right there. So I'm going to get the rest of these punched, and then we'll get them set in my notebook. I'm going to gather a couple of pages. I'm just combining about 2 at a time. That way it's easier to punch in the punch. And I'm going to draw my little circle dots at the top. That way I can line the holes up easily with the mushroom punch and punch the paper. Okay, so I have everything punched. I'm going to put this away and go throw this in the trash before I have confetti all over the floor. Okay, so I'm going to assemble now. I've got all of my papers all punched. And I just punch them 2 at a time because it is a thicker paper. And I just didn't want to run the risk of getting the paper puncher jammed. So I've got all of these punched and ready to go, and they pretty much match perfectly with what, it's kind of hard to tell. You can see the holes there, they all pretty much line up like really well. So let's get these on the rings. Again, this is the part that I struggle with on trying to get these on. And I remember from the release that they had some sort of gadget that allowed you to put your paper on your planner rings more easily, but I don't know if that's sold separately or if that was part of a kit. I didn't see that on the website, and I don't need a whole kit of a planner, so I'm just going to get these on the best way that I can without ripping the paper. This is the easiest way to put these on here, but so there's one side. There we go. And the last chunk. And the back cover. Oh my gosh. Yikes. I always feel like I'm going to break these or something. I don't know. Has anyone ever broken one of the application covers? Like the plastic pieces? I don't know. I feel like that's going to break. Yikes. Yikes. There we go. Perfect. There. It is all complete. Very simple, easy. Little notebook, just plain paper. I'll just use it as sort of a to-do lister. I wanted to have this so I could put this in my tote bag when I go to work and just kind of throw this in my tote bag, because I was using my planner and I would take my planner with me, but I was getting it was becoming damaged. And so I use a lot of the like leather traveler's notebooks. I have a couple of like the Filofax ring bound planners, and those were getting scratched up. And so I thought, like, let me get something a little bit more kind of like durable and will really like work in my tote bag well. So that is it for this video. So short and sweet, simple, easy to do kind of, you know, notebook here. But yeah, let me know if you want to see how I'm going to use this, or if I'm going to decorate it or not. I don't know. Since I'm home now with everything that's going on, I have time on my hands to actually sit and plan and decorate with pretty stickers and everything like that. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. Also click that notification bell so you'll instantly know when I post a video. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.